Is horror comedy dead?
No.
We review 2 movies tonight. The first one is Ick, and the second one is Scared Shitless. They prove the genre is alive, gross, and kicking. But did we like them? Or were we horrified by them? We're going to tell you, so stay tuned. And if you should add these to your Halloween movie night marathon. So stay tuned, and we're going to tell you all about it. And welcome back to the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast. My name's Chris, the independent filmmaker.
I'm Jess, the non-independent filmmaker.
That's right. And like we said at the top of the show, we have 2 movies that we're reviewing tonight. Do you know why? Because it's Halloween.
Yeah, why not?
Right. And depending on how much I get edited, it's either coming out Thursday, the day before Halloween, or on Friday.
Actual Halloween.
The actual Halloween. So
which I kind of lean towards Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be weird because we usually do Thursday nights, but we could do like a special.
Yeah, do a special because this is a special. It's 2 movies.
But then I always think and this is probably a good comment for people to comment in the comments below, is would you rather have it on the day of, or would you rather have it on the day before so you can plan ahead? Are you, let me just.
Spontaneous, let's watch it, or you gotta plan it out.
Or plan it out. And I'm like, if we released it on a Thursday, the day before Halloween, then they have a chance to think about it.
To add it to the list.
And add it to the list. I know, because if you're going to be like on Friday doing your Halloween horror marathon, then you can't really watch us.
Fine, that's true. Okay.
But more to come on that. It depends.
It depends on whether you want to see these movies or not.
It's a crazy week, so hopefully we'll get them out on Thursday. But if not, Friday for Halloween. Mm-hmm. But it's all in the spirit because, yes, we are in, at least my favorite.
Oh, it is definitely your favorite. My
favorite holiday, and I'm excited. So, are we dressing up for Halloween?
Yeah, we're dressing up, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're always like at the end of the right before Halloween is like we're like
we decide what we're gonna be.
We decide.
Mm-hmm. And I drove all around town today looking for specific clothes for these because we're last minute.
Yeah, but I'm like. I'm not last minute Halloween because Halloween for me starts like September 1st.
Yeah.
So I have all this time to figure it out, but now we're days away.
And I'm in the car driving around town trying to find jackets and dresses. Well, dresses for me, jackets for you.
No, we're not doing a gender swap in here. So
No.
Dresses for you, jackets for me. So yeah. So I feel like we're always at the end, but we
got it together quickly.
We always get it together. At the end. So we're not going to tell you what it is. We'll post a picture or something.
Yeah, we'll post a picture of us.
Yeah, if you're watching the social media.
And we don't want to give it away either. Yeah.
Should we do a review?
Yeah, let's get into this.
We're
just rambling at this point.
No. People want to know what's going on. So yeah, please like and subscribe and comment below. Tell me what we were talking about earlier. And then, let's get into this.
Let's go for it.
The first one we're going to talk about is Scared Shitless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
this was a very interesting one.
Yeah. Do you want to know?
Do we want to tell them what it's about?
Yeah, because you already know what it's about.
Yeah, I already know what it's about.
So, Scared Shitless. Yeah. It has one of those. It's a Canadian, obviously a horror comedy because we're talking about horror comedies. Mm-hmm. This takes place with a plumber named Don and his germophobic son. Yeah, Sonny. And he's that much afraid of germs that he feels like he's going to die. So his dad wants to spend time with him. The mother has passed. So, and he wants to get him off the couch because the son is always just playing video games and doesn't really want to do anything. So he's like, let's do some father-son bonding. So why don't you
plumbing,
because he's a plumber. So he's like, why don't you come out on a job at this apartment complex and we can bond over plumbing.
Which a germaphobe going to help their dad out as a plumber is quite comical.
Yeah.
And it goes very interesting.
It goes very wrong.
So wrong.
When a genetically engineered bloodthirsty creature that is taken from a lab by this professor, the creature gets away from the professor and ends up in this apartment complex, the same apartment complex that the son and father are going to, and the monster gets into the plumbing of the
building,
and that's why, I guess that's why they're calling that for them to come because of that. But they don't know, like, no, because they always go to that apartment.
Yeah, it's like a known plumber.
The older lady always complaining about her plumbing. So although they didn't know it's some crazy creature in there. It's really about getting over your fears and whatever that may be, and to grow up and face those fears. Mm-hmm. So it has a good kind of theme through line of, trying to get over those fears and getting past that. And this is how they show it in the way. And then we have a fun fact about that from the writer of this, which we'll talk about a little bit later too. So you have to stay tuned for that as well. Do you want to know who's in it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to know who's in it?
Duh.
All right.
Don't leave me in such suspense.
Yeah. So Stephen Ogg plays the dad, Don, and he has been around for a while, and he plays the father, Don, like I said, and he was in one that I loved back in the day, Walking Dead. He was in there in the later seasons for quite a while as one of the bad guys. And then he was just in a recent show that we did a review on called Revival. Mm-hmm. Yep. So
which is really good.
He's just fun to watch. He's just this oddball kind of character, but he always brings it when he.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have Daniel Donahue. He plays Sonny, the son.
The germaphobe son.
The germaphobe son.
And his character was fun to watch.
Yeah.
He did a good job with it.
You feel bad for him. He's very pathetic in the beginning, that's for sure. So, yeah. Who do we have next?
Julian Richings, I think is how you said the last name. If we're not butchering that, sorry.
He plays a professor, and God, he's been around for a long time. If you see his face, you'll be like, there was just too many movies
to name off.
To name them. It would just been a list of his movies. He has like 230 something credits or something like that. So he's been around it was cool that they got him on there. Mm-hmm. And then one of my favorites, Mark McKinney, he plays Professor Roberts. He's the one that steals the monster, the creature, and then it gets loose. He is from way back in the day in the 90s, from the Kids in the Hall and that troupe, that comedy troupe. Mm-hmm. And then one of my favorite comedies, Superstore. All right, so then we have this was directed by Viviano Cardelli and then written by Brandon Cohen. And like I said, I have some cool stuff that Brandon talked about in an interview that was interesting of how people come up with film ideas.
Concepts.
Yeah, I'm always interested in how people come up with these film ideas, because that's me sitting around being like,
okay,
what can this be a good thing or not? So it was very interesting. All right, so let's talk about what worked. You want to talk about what worked?
Yeah, I liked the creature.
Wow, you just went right into that. You're like, I just like the creature and I'm done. Yeah, the creature was super cool. It was gross and shiny and rubbery.
Yeah.
And one thing that's really great about it,
it had eyeballs.
No, it's practical.
Oh.
A lot of it was practical effects. So
yeah, because it looks like an arm that was like severed, and then a 3-fingered like hand with eyeballs in the middle of the palm.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting looking creature.
It was creepy and not something you wanted to come out of your toilet.
No. If I saw that coming out of our toilet, we're putting up the house. No, we're done.
Yep.
We're moving.
And that creature was created by Steven Kozansky, and he was a director of a movie called Psycho Gorman, which I really liked and did really well. Another horror comedy kind of film. So another one we should review down the line. But it's been out for a couple of years. But so he's been around. So he created the creature effects, and like I said, practical.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with practical.
Yeah. And I liked the concept. I like the concept.
And then I think
I know what else.
Father and son did really well. Their dynamic really drove the storyline, and just seeing how much, his father wanted the son to bond with the son and to get him off the couch, and then to go there and then to put him in the worst place that he could be would be being a plumber, being a germaphobe,
cleaning out toilets,
and just the antics of that. And of course, it's just him going to a normal plumbing job is horrible. But then you had a creature on top of it, and then the antics just ensue. But it's just that through line of, father and son come together even though they're divided because of the mother's death and all that stuff. When the rubber meets the road, they come together and have to figure out how to
plunge a toilet
and save the day in this one. You were going to say something else.
Yeah. So I love that there's different characters in the building and they all kind of play their parts. But I think one of my most favorite was, there was an older couple that sat down to dinner, and it's kind of like that typical start out. The wife is like getting on to the husband about something, and you just see him like, oh Lord, here we go. What is she getting mad at me? And then it's like the whole plot twist like turns, and it's just it turns in this very cute couple that has a very submissive, dominant relationship behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, now I remember.
Oh my gosh. So they were to me, it was hilarious. And for people that are of that age that can act that out and put those specific costumes on, I was like, applause and kudos to them.
I agree. That was
it was pretty funny.
It definitely added a lot of comedy to the movie as well.
Because it was like out of left field. You didn't expect it. You were just kind of like, oh, this poor man. And then it was like, whoop. Yep. Oh, that's what they're into.
Yeah. So I think that the movie was short runtime of like 75, 80 minutes. So,
yeah, it was a good length.
So it's it moves fast. The pace is really good on
Pacing was very good.
Absolutely. I think the through line for a lot of these two movies I reviewed were the music on this, because this one had great 80s Canadian rock bands back from the day, and that soundtrack was really good too. So it's kind of, it kind of gets you upbeat and keeps it just
keeps you.
Wow. Keeps on going.
Oh no, Lord. We're downhill.
Yeah, so yeah, it just keeps you going.
Yeah.
And then
what else you got?
I'm gonna keep going.
Oh.
So this movie, obviously you can tell from the title, it's over the top. It is over the top.
Yeah.
But it doesn't try to shove it down
your throat.
The toilet.
Oh. Down the toilet. Okay.
Yeah, I like to twist it.
I like that.
So it knows what it is. It's very aware. And that's a good thing for the movie. If the movie's not aware of itself, then it kind of gets ridiculous and kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when it's aware of what it's doing and it knows what it's trying to do, then you can accept the ridiculous that it's doing, and then enjoy the movie. So it is over the top toilet humor, literally, and then a lot of gags and stuff like that are just ridiculous. But it knows that, and it leans way into that. So
yeah,
I give it props for that. You did good with that part.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to what didn't work. Yes.
All right, you started off.
And I started, and it's almost kind of piggybacking off of what I just finished on what did work. And that is that it is over the top toilet humor kind of movie. And that might not be your shtick, right?
Your cup of toilet.
Your cup of toilet, your cup of tea that might be in the toilet. So yeah, that's the thing, is like, if you don't like that kind of stuff and can't let go and just, and have that fun ride of just this ridiculousness, then that's definitely not going to be, this is not going to be the movie for you. But, if you shut off your brain and just have a good time and a good laugh at some ridiculous, as these people try to take on this monster in a toilet or in the plumbing, then you're going to like it, right?
Yeah, you do. There wasn't too much for me that didn't work for this film. I think the only person that I wish would have, well, I don't want to give away, but it's okay. I wish Miss Applebottom would have survived because she was super cute.
Oh,
that's my only thing.
A spoiler.
I know.
Okay.
Well, it is a creature coming out of the toilet. What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. She could live. And then the only other thing is, like, comedy is hard, so not all the jokes land on it. But that's just the way it is. So I think overall, it wasn't
bad.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. I enjoyed it.
It's just a fun, goofy movie just to enjoy, and it was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it, actually. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So I'll say that.
So I just had I always like to look up for everybody out there.
Facts.
Yeah, some fun facts, because
Why not?
Yeah, I find them very interesting, and maybe you do out there too. So I'm just gonna get into a couple fun facts, and then we can wrap this thing up, right?
Yeah, we'll go on to the next one.
Speaking of Brandon Cohen, he was a construction worker. He worked on construction sites, and they were kind of woodsy construction sites, and they had a porta potty out there, and he was afraid to use the porta potty because he was afraid the creatures would get into the porta potty, and then things would happen. So that is the genesis of where this movie came from. That's where it all started.
Like the hand was going to come out of the toilet and get him.
Or something like that. He was just afraid. So
I don't like porta potties either.
I don't think anybody does, but it was just like that's where this movie came from. And
That's funny.
Yeah, right.
That's actually kind of awesome.
And it was inspired by he was inspired by the movie the Blob films.
Blob.
He has plans for another. So
Good.
Scared Shitless 2.
I'm excited.
What is your recommendation for Scared Shitless? What would you give it?
My Screaming Smile?
Screaming Smiles.
I say a 3.5.
3.5, and you're a winner.
I am?
Because I do.
What did I win?
I said the same.
We agreed again.
We agree again.
Wow.
I think this is 2 in a row, right?
At least.
Yeah, at least 2 in a row. That
We
we're on
never
the same.
agree.
So yeah, we give it a 3.5 Screaming Smiles. It is not in the theater. It's on streaming, so go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll enjoy it. It's a fun one if you like horror comedy to add it to your Halloween horror
marathon.
Yes.
All right. So which one are we doing now?
Oh yeah, we're doing ick.
Ick.
Yeah, a little ick.
Or a lot of ick.
A lot of ick. You'll find out soon.
Yeah, you'll figure it out in the movie.
So let's talk about that one a little bit.
Okay, let's go for it.
This one takes place in a town called Eastbrook. So a former high school football star turned science teacher, Hank Wallace, he's stuck in the past, living through
very much.
his everyday life and haunted by the one play that kind of wrecked his dreams. While he was on the football field, he kind of got hurt and then never changed and just never left the town and just became the high school science teacher from where he was from. So, but this strange vine, like alien phenomenon known as the ick that comes out of the ground, it's been long ignored as a harmless background thing that just
gross.
Just grows, but never really bothers anybody. But at this point, it has come out of the ground. It's been erupting and it's attacking people. And then Hank has to team up with this smart mouth student named Grace and his ex-girlfriend back from the day in high school called Stacy, and they have to face off this creeping menace and see if they can save the town
from the ick.
From the ick. Yeah. So this story is about another great through line for me for this one too. This is about second chances and feeling that your life hasn't gone the way it didn't turn out the way you imagined it.
Yeah.
And how you're going to, overcome those challenges and, have a good life and move on from that. So, but it is a gross and silly film, just kind of like the other ones, because it is a horror comedy, right?
Yeah.
But it is a fast paced.
Yeah. It is.
Again, similar to the Blob that the other one was talking about, because he was inspired by that. And then kind of like Body Snatchers, adding that in, the old time Body Snatchers.
I don't think I've ever seen Body Snatchers.
Okay. Well,
okay.
How about you add in a little alien and zombie into it as well?
Okay.
Yeah. You're like, well, you add all that in, you get a little bit of zaniness, right?
Yeah, you get a little bit ick.
So the funny thing about this movie is it has a lot of satire in it. It's a satire, horror comedy, and they roast the teenagers and how they feel and how they act and how they speak. It even roasts the reactions of people for like the COVID, like during the COVID era. So it's very satire driven movie.
Very much so.
Yes. You know who's in it? Brandon Roth. He plays Hank, and he was from Superman Returns and from a lot of other movies too. He's been around for a long, long time. We have Melina Polly Weissman. She plays Grace. She was from a series of Unfortunate Events TV show, which I really liked. That was a few years back on that.
I remember that TV show.
Yeah. And then we have Mina Savari.
Savari? I can't. Yeah. Sorry, girl.
Yeah.
which she is widely known from the American Pie series.
Yes.
Which she's amazing. And it's interesting to see her play this type of character from the American Pie series. So.
And then we have writer-director Joseph Kahn, who came up with it. He grew up on music videos. Like, he did like Taylor Swift music videos and stuff like that.
Dang. Okay.
So a lot of directors come from music videos, and he is one of them. So
Good for him.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. So what kind of worked for you with this one?
So what worked? You know, again, I'm going to go back to, because of filmmaking and writing and what I said earlier with the other film, is this through line, you know, I think saves the film a little bit, and that this is a story about regret, stagnation, and trying to grow up, and life already feels over. Like, it's just, he is living in the past of his high school days when he was the football guy, and now the football star, and now he's not. And I feel like it's a good through line. There's another part of it too, where which you do know, and if you watch the trailer, that he is looking to find out if Grace is actually his daughter, from his love of his life, ex-girlfriend Stacy. So that's good too. You do have some other storylines besides trying to save the world and all that kind of stuff, that he is trying to figure out, you know, his life. He's trying to figure out if that's his daughter, and then all that, trying to let go of his, you know, ex and that kind of thing. So
a little bit.
Yeah. That's my first one.
It's your first one.
Well, I'm just wanting to give you a chance to.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. There was things I liked about this movie. There wasn't too much, because it was definitely like a ridiculous kind of fun, cheeky movie to watch. I did like that it took a lot of like jabs at today's society of how most high school teenagers probably act. It's been years since I've been in high school, but that definitely kind of like was a throwback to that. And, you know, just seeing like the typical high school jock and the cheerleader, and then, you know, they think they're going to live happily ever after. And it's like, oh no. So I kind of like the storyline a little bit. And I like that it was a little bit of a different concept, with a vine growing in the town. And then everybody's kind of like, it's fine, it's no big deal. And then, you know, it's very interesting. And I think the one scene that really was probably one of the funniest to me is when they're meeting at like the superstore and everybody's like, wait, what? We have to shut down our town. The kids can't go to prom.
That kind of makes fun of the COVID thing.
Yeah, it's like the COVID thing. Like, but wait, they can't go to prom. Right. So it's like, did you not just hear anything I said? So I think that was probably one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
Yeah. It did have some ridiculous stuff in it.
Oh
it did have some laugh. I don't know if they were laugh out loud.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of chuckles for me in that. And it wasn't like a laugh out loud funny comedy. It is another self-aware film that it doesn't take itself too seriously, besides the satirical comedy. But I mean, it does know that it's this absurd, ridiculous film again. And I thought you were going to say, which you'll probably agree, because we were singing along a little bit, is the soundtrack on this.
I can't believe I completely didn't say that.
I know, right? And you're going to agree with it. The 2000s soundtrack rock, from who was staying to,
I think Linkin Park, Creed, Blink-182 is in there.
So
there were so many collective bands like that were so good, it brought you back, and you couldn't help but like sing. I think every time one came on, we were just constantly singing.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
And then another thing I'm going to say that could go either way, and I'm still on the fence with it, so I'm going to put it in the what worked and what didn't work category. And it's the editing of this film. And you mentioned it. I mean, you mentioned it. So I know it's affecting you when you're like, hey, this editing
is interesting.
At first it was like, if you watch Edgar Wright films, Edgar Wright has a style of quick cut edits to tell a story. And I don't think Edgar Wright overdoes it too much. But this one, if you like that, in the beginning I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. It moves fast and it's snappy, quick cuts, and it reminded me of Edgar Wright, which I love his films. And I was like, okay, this is cool. But then it was like, it just went on for a long time with all those snap, quickie cuts, and it was like the scenes didn't get to really breathe because it was just so fast. You almost feel like you're skipping
part of the story
over things, and part of the story. It was that fast. It became so hyper realistic and this chaotic type energy with it, which works for some, but I don't know if you want to do it for a whole, 90 minutes or whatever you're doing it at. So
too much.
I think it was fun for a little while, and what I appreciated of that is that it didn't make the audience, it didn't spell everything out to the audience. It didn't think the audience was stupid. It was like, you're going to follow along, whether we trust that you're going to follow along with us. So it went very quick, but sometimes it was just a little too much for that.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think we can go into what
What didn't work.
That didn't work, and I'm like, I'm going to start.
It worked and it didn't work.
It worked and it didn't work.
I think there was some parts for me, especially like when the ick is going through the town. I would have liked to seen I think for me, I don't know if you ever felt this way in the movie, but it actually the camera follow the ick creep ups or something. I'm not describing it very well, but I think sometimes how the way the film was shot, you
didn't like the way the film was shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
And some of the CGI, I wasn't buying it.
Yeah, I think it worked for, it was, a lower budget film, obviously.
Yeah.
And you don't have all the money of a Marvel film, but I think the VFX worked for the most part. But I did feel kind of, it kind of takes you out a little bit because it looks not as real on some of the parts for me. It looked a little more fake. But, I always go into it being like, okay, this is an indie film. This is a lower budget.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the money to do that.
To do the really, really cool shots.
I agree.
I think because some of the scenes, like you said, couldn't breathe. It's for me, some of the scenes fell flat. So I think when we got done with the movie, I was kind of like, oh, okay. That was what we watched. But
well, like I said, not all the comedy hit. It was it took some comedy swings that just didn't work for us.
You're like, okay.
And comedy's hard, and it's not going to land for everybody. All right, so again, just a couple fun facts that I always like to throw out to you guys, and this comes from the director Joseph Kahn, that he described this as a TikTok music video creature feature, and that's why he has all the. Well, yeah, because you only have a short time to do a TikTok video, so it was.
I don't have TikTok.
Well, yeah, but so it was the quick edit cuts. So that's how he
decided to do it.
Well, that's how he explains it as all those quick
Okay,
edits.
well, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, and then the horror part, the monster, he wanted that to feel real, and he wanted people to feel real emotion, like they were really in trouble. And I'm like, I don't know if I felt peril for all these people, like, oh my God, they're all gonna perish.
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Or?
No, I didn't feel I think at certain moments, there was two characters and specifically that I was kind of like, oh no, don't get eaten by the vine.
Oh, those two, yeah.
Yeah, those two. But at the same time, I was kind of like,
yeah, and it's
okay.
Those are two goofy characters.
Oh, so funny.
And they kind of, meet and start dating kind of thing in a way.
Or try to date.
And I was rooting for more of them than the main
two main characters.
The two main characters. So they did really well with that. So I think even though I was following Hank's journey, those two, I was like, please don't.
I know. I was like, please don't get eaten.
Because for some reason they were very endearing characters. And, and you want to make sure
you bought their story, I think, more than
you bought them, and you want to make them survive, which we can't tell you if they did or not. So you just have to watch the film.
No.
Mm-hmm. Moving right along.
Okay.
Because people want to watch movies. Because it is Halloween, so we got to get more movies in.
Yay.
So what do you recommend? Screaming Smiles.
Oh, I'm on a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Are we not agreeing on this one?
I don't know. What's yours?
3.5.
Oh, wow. You're generous, I feel like.
I think it was fun. And I
was fun, but it didn't.
Like I said, it wasn't a laugh out loud. I think it was
it's just ridiculous.
Oh, the other one was ridiculous too. But I think it was the through line of the story that he tried to weave in there with Hank's character. I think that and the other two characters that we just talked about, I think I was on board with them. So that's why I gave it a one more notch a little higher at 3.5.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to stay a solid 3.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, love that for me.
So another one that we recommend that they go see.
Yeah, it's on streaming.
It is on streaming, not in the theater. So go whatever streaming platform you watch your streaming movies on.
Yeah, add it to the list.
I think she's not so much added to the list. I think add it to the list. If I was to say one over the other, I'd go ick, scared shitless over ick.
Yeah. I'd definitely say scared shitless over ick.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to choose between one or two, because you have other movies to watch on Friday night,
scared shitless is
then
it.
scared shitless over ick. 100%. Yep.
Toilet humor all the way.
That's right. You can't. That's the thing is you can't go wrong with potty humor, right? It's just funny. We're just kids.
Yeah.
Kids laughing along. Yeah. All right. So if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
I'm begging.
He's
Please like,
begging.
And comment below. And I think the comment for this should be, what is your horror comedy go-to film?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you got like a movie marathon and your Halloween night, you got popcorn and creepy people outside. What is going to be your go-to horror comedy? So you got your horror slasher, you got your horror psychology, kind of psycho one. Thrillers.
Yeah.
And then you got your horror comedy. What is that horror comedy?
Like your slapstick movies.
Yeah. Please comment below.
Yeah.
And I'll comment back.
We always comment back.
And I'll tell you what ours is. We're not going to tell here.
No.
Now you have to comment.
Yeah.
Let us know. So I really hope you enjoyed this. We're on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, we're on any audio streaming platform that you get all your podcasts. And please join us next time right here on the Horror Comedy Hangout podcast.
Yes. We'd love to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.